here to give you a quick tutorial on vinyl bag straps. So one of the most common questions I get is how to prevent the twisting in my vinyl straps. These are two Santorini totes. Right now this one is loaded down. It's what I'm using for my bag right now. And I just used double the final thickness that I want for my, or the width that I want for my strap. So for instance, this one looks to be about a 1-inch strap, 1 inch this way. So the vinyl would be cut 2 inches and then interfaced with SF101 and then sewn, folded over and sewn. So I'm going to show you that really quick. One of the biggest things you want to be mindful of when making a vinyl strap is that when you're putting it through the machine, you cannot pull or push the vinyl. You have to let the feed dogs do the work, and then you want to sew in the same direction on each side of the strap. I'm going to take you overhead really quick. Right here I've got a sample strip of vinyl. This is our thermal vinyl. If I was warmer, it would be changing color. No. And this is SF101. So I'm just going to lay it down on the SF101. The whole width of the strap will be interfaced. And I'm going to take that away. I'll bring it over to my iron. Let's shorten this strap so it's easier to work with on the tutorial. This is the interfacing, the sticky side, the glue side facing the wrong side of the vinyl. This is the right side of the vinyl. So we're flipping it over and we're going to fuse. My iron is at high heat. I don't change anything when I'm working with vinyl. I always do a test swatch, but the vinyl that I sell in my shop, as long as it's not the see-through kind, you can iron it from the wrong side. Okay, so that looks to be oh, look at that, it's changed color. That's what heat does to this vinyl. So you'll see this change back to black as it cools. So now what I'm going to do is fold it over once, matching the raw edges, and I'm going to use my mallet to hammer it down. This may seem unnecessary, but I've found that the hammering really makes a big difference. Sometimes I'll do it a couple of times. And then I'm going to bring my clips over, and I'm going to clip those raw edges so that they stay together. You don't want to use pins in most vinyl because it will leave holes forever. Okay, I'm just going to do this again. You can see where it's starting to cool down now. All right, so let's take it to the machine. My machine, this is just an entry level, it's a Bernina 1008 mechanical machine. I'm at a stitch length of 3, and my tension is at normal. It was a little less than earlier, but it's just regular tension, okay? My needle is a Schmetz Microtex 80. And with this machine, I don't have anything automatic on it. So I'm going to go onto the vinyl and move my needle down so that I'm starting at the right place here. Now, without pushing or pulling, and when I stop, I want to try to have my needle down so that I don't get skipped stitches. Without pushing or pulling, I'm going to let the feed dogs do the work and pull the vinyl through. My hand is just here for a guide. And don't worry about the excess interfacing there. I can just trim that away after the fact. I am using a Teflon foot. This helps me Helps my machine not get stuck in any way on the vinyl. Now I have white thread in so that you can see my stitching very clearly in this tutorial, but you would use a matching thread, of course, and bobbin, because now this is the direction we sewed. So we just want to flip it and sew in the same direction on the strap. What you don't want to do is this, and then turn it like this, because you're making these forces fight each other. So this is the direction I sewed. I'm just going to flip it and sew down this folded edge so that there's a balanced look here. I'm standing at a really strange angle here at my machine so that you can see what I'm doing. But as you can see, I'm not pushing or pulling at all. The feed dogs do all the work. And the stitches look the same, and the strap is not twisting. So now I'll come over here. I'm just going to trim that excess SF101 away so that you're not actually, just do it freehand. So you're not seeing any white. And then I like to just trim my short ends because that gets the loose threads as well at the same time. And then I always flip it over and check the other side to make sure the strap is really, really good here. I don't think so. I don't think we need to zoom in just yet. I'm going to give it a press. I think it's awesome that I'm using this vinyl because then you can really see that my iron is truly on high heat. Changed color. And there's my flat, even strap. Isn't that awesome? Now I can trim it up even more. And you know, I can take edge coat here and do this, but oftentimes I know some people will be mad at me for saying this, but oftentimes I just take a Sharpie because I don't have time for paint. And I'll come in here and paint the edge with my Sharpie. If you're truly using a Sharpie, it is permanent. I've never ever had Sharpie bleed or come off or anything that I've heard rumors about by certain bag people before. It's never been a problem for me. I used to sell my makes all the time. I never had a complaint about Sharpie. So once this vinyl cools down and turns black again, this edge will match right in. And like I said, use edge coat paint if you're into that, okay? Whatever you do, whatever works for you is right. Now, I do want to show you these straps. I'll take you overhead again because certain vinyls will behave differently, and let's talk about this a second. So this one on the left is a strap with no interfacing, and this one on the right has interfacing, and then many layers of stitching. And you can see there's just a slight twist to this, but it doesn't make the strap wrong or unusable. Because if this is going to be a strap or a handle, you'll just manipulate it into how it goes on the bag, and it's correct. Now, if you're doing a long, skinny strap, you can see that it wants to turn into a helix in a way. So it would be best to interface this with either SF101, or what I've also done in the past is I've cut a strip of foam and I've tucked it inside and made sure that I'm catching it on both sides of the stitching on the strap. So that makes a thicker strap. You want to be careful with the foam and make sure that it's going to work with your hardware because it will make a little bit thicker strap. So if you're just barely getting your strap through the hardware, you might want to go up a size in the hardware to get the foam through. Okay, so there's that. So let's review. Usually I will just cut double the width of whatever I want my finished strap to be. And I fold it over once, and there's my strap. I do like to interface it because it makes a really nice, strong, non-stretchy strap that will last a long time. If you want to paint your edges, go ahead. If you want to Sharpie them, go ahead. If you want to do nothing, go ahead. Because on this bag, I did nothing, and you can't tell. I can hardly tell which edge is actually the what's that called? The free edge. This is the free edge. Oh, maybe it's not. So it just depends on the vinyl, as you can see. Sometimes it's just not worth your time to worry about that kind of stuff. Because if it's not super noticeable, just let it go. Move on to the next thing. Now, I will say, if you want to make your strap like double fold binding or like a cloth strap, you absolutely can. Just know that you might need a heavier duty machine or a jeans majig or a hump jump to make sure that your foot stays level. Because where you're going to get needle breakage is when your foot is rocking, okay? It's going to put tension on that needle and break it. And another thing that can break your needle is if you're pushing or pulling. If you're having to do that, something is wrong. So stop, get out your booklet, read about your tension. Some machines need more tension adjustment than others. I will say that. My Bernina, this one, and my Juki, no tension adjustment, never. I never do it. But on my Janome, it needs a lot of attention with the tension. So there you go. You can always iron or press your vinyl that I sell in my shop, So Hungry Hippie Vinyl, from the wrong side. The only vinyl you can't press are the plastic see-through ones, the jelly vinyls, the clear vinyls. Those you can't really press. If you're making a strap from that, which I suppose you could, if you need it to flatten out, use a blow dryer, put it in the sun, lay it under some books, something like that. Also, for the other vinyls, when there are times that my straps are just not behaving how I want them to, this is the trick. You lay it on a flat surface like a floor or a table. You grab the heaviest books in your house and you stack those books on the strap. And then you walk away overnight, 24 hours, and come back and you'll be amazed. It's amazing what a little patience can do. So there's that tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and I will see you soon.